Welcome back to Open Window Politics. Today we're going to be going through some extreme gerrymanders of a bunch of different states. So we'll get started out with this Democratic gerrymander of South Carolina. So traditionally South Carolina, pretty Republican state. They have one solidly Democratic district at the moment, but currently in this map there are 3 Democratic districts, 1 competitive district, and 3 solid Republican districts. So this competitive Republican district basically takes the cities throughout South Carolina and puts them all together. It is certainly gerrymandered for sure, but this is a Democratic gerrymander of South Carolina. Next up, we'll go to another state. In this case, let's go to the Republican gerrymander of Pennsylvania. So, in this case, there's about a roughly equal balance of Republican seats to Democratic seats because it is a swing state in the current map. But this map has all but 2 Republican seats. So there are 2 Democratic seats in the Philadelphia area that are solid Democratic. And then the rest of the seats are mostly lean and tilt Republican districts, including the ones in Pittsburgh that surround that area. Each map takes a small chunk from Pittsburgh and combines it with a larger rural area. So we'll go over to the next state. So this is a Democratic gerrymander of Missouri. So Missouri currently only has a few Democratic seats in their congressional delegation. But in this map, it gives Democrats it gives them half the seats and gives a competitive district to tilt the odds in favor of complete Democratic control. And in this case, it breaks up each of the major urban areas into these solid or likely and lean Democratic districts. These 2 in particular are pretty solid Democratic districts, and it is quite the gerrymander, but it is a way that Democrats, if they in some crazy world were able to make the map in Missouri, then this would be a good way for them to gerrymander the state. Next up, we'll go with a new state. We'll go with the Democratic gerrymander of Texas. So Texas has got, of course, the 40 electoral college votes and is likely going to become a swing state in future elections. And it is very Republican gerrymandered. According to many experts, it's the most gerrymandered state in the nation. So this map kind of aims to do the reverse of that, where it has a bunch of Democratic seats and I believe even has a majority of Democratic seats. Taking a while here. Here we go. So it's got quite a few Democratic seats, and this map isn't quite finished yet, but as you can see, it does a good job of keeping compact and occasionally breaking up the major metro areas. There's Dallas, and then we have Austin and San Antonio here. It does a pretty good job of staying compact, so it isn't really an extreme gerrymander, but it is certainly slightly gerrymandered. Here's another example on the southern border. It keeps compact some of these Democratic districts, Then we have these tilt and lean Democratic districts throughout this area. It breaks up El Paso into two to try to bring that Democratic vote into these more rural areas. And then the rest of Texas is primarily these solid Republican districts that are likely never going to be competitive in this case. And then in the San Antonio area, we have these 3 districts that break up the city. They're pretty compact. They do a pretty good job of keeping common communities together, and is a good option there, although it is certainly a Democratic gerrymander. Next up, we'll go to another state. In this case, let's go to another state. We'll go to a more fair map of Arizona in this case. And so this state currently is a slightly Republican gerrymandered, but this map does a good job of trying to counteract that. So it has these 2 solid Democratic seats, as well as this solid Republican district on the west end of Arizona. And then towards the northeast of Arizona, it has this lean Democratic district, as well as a lean district in the Phoenix area. The Maricopa County is broken up quite a bit, but just because so much of the population is there, so that's where the majority of the districts are. And the state also captures this solid Democratic district in the near the southern border of Arizona. And next up, we'll go to another state here. We'll go to, in this case, we'll go to a Republican gerrymander of, in this case, not Arizona, Virginia. So Virginia is generally, in most elections, a Democratic state, but in this case, this gerrymander makes it so that many of the districts are lean or tilt Republican districts, and tries to compact the Democrats into a few small districts. As you can see, there's this one connecting Richmond to the DC metro area. Because of the population, there are 2 districts there that are pretty solid Democratic districts, but the rest of the state is this lean and tilt Republican districts that kind of capture a lot of the rural area across the state and help with the Republican gerrymandering. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.